I ducked out to my local shops, picked up 2 cucumbers wrapped in plastic that are roughly the same size. I've unwrapped the one in my right hand. This one weighs about 348 grams, and I've left the one in my left hand still wrapped in plastic, because we're always told when you've got a cucumber wrapped in plastic, it'll last longer on the shelf than a cucumber that's not wrapped in plastic. In a week's time, whether this cucumber wrapped in plastic looks, feels, weighs any different than the cucumber that's not wrapped in plastic. I've been away all week, so it's Friday night, and I pulled them out of the fridge, and they do feel a bit different. There's no doubt about that. Both these cucumbers do feel a little bit different. The one that's not wrapped in plastic, it's certainly softer through the middle of the cucumber, where the one that's still wrapped in plastic, it's definitely firmer. But this was 348 grams, and now it's down to about 316 grams. Whereas the one that's wrapped in plastic, this one weighed 311 grams. And let's see what it weighs now, a week later. Well, not quite a week later, about 5 days later. Hey Josh, how you going? You want to go live? Nice to see you. This has only lost about 1 gram. So let's cut these up. Let's take the plastic off the one that we left the plastic on last Sunday, and see if it looks any different to the other one that's not wrapped in plastic. So it looks like already that the one that is wrapped in plastic has definitely not deteriorated as much as the one that's not wrapped in plastic. So this cucumber here, it's quite solid through the middle. I'm going to just chop this straight in half, and that's kind of how it looks in the middle there. I don't know if you can see that, and yeah, it is just a cucumber. And we'll chop the one that hasn't been wrapped in plastic straight in the middle there. You can't really tell, but this one is certainly softer. So which one tastes better? All right, well let's give it a shot. Here's the one that's been still wrapped in plastic. It's pretty crisp. It's still tastes okay. Hiding a question there. What type of plastic is that? Well, I'm not going to get the lighter out and do a burn test, but just looking at this, mate, I think this is LDPE film. I could be wrong, and I probably need to do a burn test to be thorough on that to actually find out what type of plastic that is, but it's certainly tearing and behaving like it's a PE-based film that's been on this cucumber. Are you going to take that soft plastic back to the supermarket? Obviously, RedCycle have a program where you can return soft plastics back to your local supermarket, being Woolworths and Coles. So soft plastics like what was around this cucumber, you can't put them in your curbside recycling bin. Hey Kerry, how you doing? And the main reason you can't put these in your curbside recycling bin is the facilities that are built to process your curbside recycling are mainly built to process bottles, containers, and paper and cardboard. So your soft film, if that ends up in your curbside bin, it actually creates a problem for those facilities known as MRFs, or material recovery facilities. So the best thing to do with any of your soft plastic around your house that you do get on any food packaging is to return it back to Coles or Woolworths. They've got the RedCycle bins out the front of the stores. If you put them in there, ends up with great companies like Replas in Australia, who make things like park benches, decking boards, outdoor furniture, a whole range of other products. So yeah, great question, mate. The best thing that you should do with this soft plastic is stick it back in the RedCycle bins at Woolworths or Coles. This is not about the fact that we should wrap everything in plastic to make it last longer. You know, are we just buying what we need, or are we just buying excessive things that we don't really need or we're not really going to use straight away? So in my view, in terms of the cucumber that I've looked at tonight and over the last 5 days, I definitely think the one that is wrapped in plastic has maintained its shape, its feel, and potentially its quality. So it definitely does make an impact. So when we're talking about plastic packaging, yes, we want to reduce the amount of plastic packaging that we are using, but we also need to be mindful that sometimes packaging, like the type that was on this cucumber, may actually extend the shelf life, and we may actually reduce food waste by having it wrapped in plastic, as we have done with the cucumber. I'm not saying that's the case for all packaging, but it's something that we need to consider. But on the back, for joining me on Friday night, and I'll speak to you soon. Check you later.